It's time for round two. You all seem to really appreciate the Core 2 Quad plus 3090 Ti video that we did. So we got to thinking, with the good old days of Intel behind us, what are the good old days of AMD? And so we did some digging out on the internet, and we're ready for the follow-up to the 15-year-old CPU to do it with Team Red. So this is the equivalent from AMD's side of what the Core 2 Quad Q9550 was. We ended up picking up the Phenom 2 X4 955 chip. Runs at 3.2 gigahertz, has 6 megabytes of cache as opposed to the 12 megabytes that are on the Q9550. But according to the benchmarks I read, this is actually slightly faster than this was back in the day. But we also picked up some improvements that we read in the comments of the last video. A lot of you wanted us to use DDR3, so we made sure to get a DDR3 motherboard and 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. This Ballistics RAM with a gigantic heatsink, we're gonna have 16 gigabytes of that in order to make it better. So this is not gonna be a one-to-one comparison to the Core 2 Quad, but if you would like to see that happen, get subscribed, because if there's enough interest in this series, we'll put these two head to head. But while we use the 3090 Ti in the Core 2 Quad system, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to use NVIDIA with AMD. So instead, let me just take my Steam Deck off of the 6950 XT, which is AMD's highest end GPU that they offer to consumers right now. This is going to be paired with a CPU that came out in 2008 and should hopefully start driving someday soon. But additionally, while we bought a brand new Xiaomi cooler, we got a whole bundle kit with the motherboard, and this is an old Xiaomi cooler, roughly the same, still can slice your fingers open, but it has a fan on the inside that's attached right down here. This is amazing. I love this so much. This is pure late 2000s PC aesthetic right here. But other than the DDR3, this motherboard should be roughly the same. It has PCI Express 2.0 port, USB 2.0, and come close, Kyler, okay? I haven't seen this before on any motherboard. I'm sure it existed previously, but this guy has an overclocking switch. Each of the positions indicates how much of an overclock you get, with one being on or two being on and one being off and two being on. If you put both of them on, it'll add 20% to your overclock on the CPU, making it that much faster. I've never had a motherboard with that feature. Have you guys ever had a motherboard with an overclocking switch? Because this is a brand new experience to me. Also, a lot of people seem to be upset that I didn't know what an ISA slot was. Why am I supposed to know things that don't matter anymore? We should probably build this. Today's UFD Tech video is sponsored by Grid and their framed amazing pieces of tech history. Today's video is all about celebrating and using old tech, and so Grid is a great sponsor for that because they allow you to have a great display of tech that was pivotal amongst the years, including it being the ultimate nostalgia for Apple fans, with the Grid 4 and the Grid 4S that I have here with me being some of Apple's most popular products and a pivoting point in the company's history. You can actually have framed displays of each of those devices hanging on your walls, and they also make great gifts for any tech enthusiast out there. But it's not just Apple products. They also have different game consoles that you could potentially have in the frame, as well as a few other smartphones, so that you can remember the tech history that has gone by yourself. And as we get further away from the launch of these pieces of tech, it gets harder to commemorate them because they end up getting destroyed. And that's why Grid is so great, because they're also environmentally friendly, because none of this is going into a landfill. Instead, it's being repurposed and reused as art for yourself or whoever you want to get this as a gift for. They're beautiful pieces, they're wrapped elegantly and make for great gifts. But on top of that, if you use our link in the video description, which is gridstudio.cc/UFD, and you use code UFD15 at checkout, you can save 15% off of your purchase with them. Again, great for tech gifts and for remembering tech history. So use code UFD15 when using the link in the video description to pick up one of your Grid Studio frame pieces of tech, and big thanks to Grid for sponsoring today's video. So we gotta get this taken out. LTTstore.com. Drop the water bottle. Where's my screwdriver? I don't have enough motherboards in cases in order to not take out this Core 2 Quad setup, but I'll just rip the entire thing out and then we'll put the new one in. So theoretically, this system, ignore that, No, just ignore that. Ignore the trash on the ground. So theoretically, the new AMD system should be faster than this one. Again, because I do think we'd experience some tremendous RAM bottlenecks where we were working on the Core 2 Quad, but additionally, because, I mean, by most gaming benchmarks, the 6950 XT is faster than the 3090 Ti. Does that really matter when you're bottlenecked elsewhere? Math, physics, I don't know. I gotta hook up the cooler before we blast this bad boy on. You just use that. That looks right. That feels right. Oh yeah, that's easy. RAM time. We got all these 16 gigs to install. Oh yeah, with these DDR3 modules, RAM clearance would definitely have been an issue back in the day. The cool design logo is now blocked because it has to face inwards. Look at that, Ballistics Elite. You spend good money on RAM and then you have to turn it around. So yeah, look at that. It's just black RAM and then all of the Ballistic Elite is covered up by the cooler back here. Ow. This is how you're supposed to do it. You just grab it by the cooler where it could slice your fingers open. It's like handling a goat. You just gotta grab them. You know, I kinda, in like a weird way, want to slice my fingers open. Motherboard power. Nani? This looks important. I'm getting phoned. Hello? Yes, how are you doing? I'm doing all right. Yeah, okay, 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 okay. Gotcha, okay, okay, okay. All right, all right, all right, sounds good. Bye. Oh, I did cut myself. Yes, I did it. I'm bleeding out of my pinky. Oh, I can't believe it happened. I was like, why is my finger sticky? And it's not for the normal reasons, it's blood. Yes. All right, I'm gonna grab a Band-Aid. Band-Aid. Also got the SSD installed. Now it's time, I believe, for the graphics card. Perfect. Nailed it. 6950 XT, this big chonkin' lad. Did I scratch it already or is that thermal paste? That was thermal paste. That's good to know. Oh boy, this is a long, thick lad. Triple 8-pin GPU power. All right, I think it's set up. That's all she wrote. 6950 XT with the Phenom X4 955, 16 gigs of DDR3 RAM. What a beautiful looking cross-generational setup. Pluggy in time. It's got FireWire. Wait, no, that's eSATA. Oh, wow. And it has FireWire. Oh, it's got eSATA right here. And it's got FireWire right there. Huh, and HDMI. Bro, this is like a solid motherboard. Which one is this? This is the MSI 790GX G65 version 1. So let's check and make sure this works. Oh boy, that booted. Oh, that was fast. We're straight up into it. This is way faster than I thought I was gonna. I didn't even get a chance to enter the BIOS. That was my bad. That cooler is loud. I might be able to calm it down. No, 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 no. This is a bad first issue. See, this is probably because I couldn't go into the BIOS. Entering setup, there we go. Okay, I didn't even get to see we had 16 gigabytes of RAM. I just need to make sure that everything's in here. That fan is also going really loud. I would like to turn that down. Oh no, it's quieting down now. CPU features. Yeah, let's turn on all the support. Because that was actually the issue with the last setup with getting games to run, was the fact that there's not as many instruction sets on the older CPUs that are now supported on the modern CPUs. So not having, I think it's what, SSE 4 on the Core 2 Quad made it so that games wouldn't run, but this isn't any different. There are ways to work around it, and I know a lot of people provided suggestions for that, but I'm more interested in how does it work right out of the gate, and maybe we'll do a follow-up video where I test it out with the little tweaks to make it go more compatibly. The RAM is currently running at 1600 megahertz. Let's just try to boot. Let's see what, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. CPU spec, memory Z. Yeah, let's go F4 was CPU spec. 3.2 gigahertz. We've got 6 megabytes of L3 cache. It's got 3D Now support, SSE 3 support, not SSE 4 support. So that's exactly what I'm talking about with the CPU support. Okay, now it'll boot into Windows. Promise, guaranteed. Might be some driver incompatibilities with the Core 2 Quad's 3090 Ti situation, trying to get 6950. Attempted execute of no execute memory. I don't think I've seen that one before. So based on the first error message I saw, I think it might have been a RAM issue. And then seeing the second error message saying no execute memory could potentially be another RAM issue. If it doesn't boot here, Yep, WEA uncorrectable error. That's typically RAM from what I've seen. So we're gonna start off with the basic troubleshootings. We're gonna try to boot with 1 stick of RAM. This CPU cooler is spicy. It's definitely doing something. It's probably because the RAM's really sad that it can't be shown off. That one okay. It does not like this. Yep. All right, now's the part of the video where Brett goes troubleshooting off camera, pulls out his hair, and then gets back to you with a completed solution. So I've got it working. The Phenom 2 X4 is now all set up and ready to go. I think part of the problem was the SATA port that I was using was broken, but then also I had to like uninstall and update the Windows. Anyways, it's fine now. We've got the Phenom 2 X4 955 running at 3.2 gigahertz, as well as the RX 6950 XT with its 16 gigabytes of video memory. Now, it's time to see how does it kind of compare to the Core 2 Quad. Counter-Strike Global Offensive did work previously, so now we need to see, can we get faster frame rate? We're doing 30 to 40 FPS right now. This isn't, it's not great. I can't be sure if this is better or worse. At some moments, it does feel smoother. It's definitely working. It does look slightly better. 30, like we're managing in the mid 30s at 4K high, which isn't terrible. Can I get an ace? I did, I got 5 kills. This is definitely better than the Core 2 Quad. 40 FPS right now. This is playable for sure. And the longer I play, the less hiccuping is happening as I say that, obviously. Oh, hi, friend. Gotcha. I'm gonna defuse. Okay, well, we knew that CSGO should work because it worked on the Core 2 Quad. We got the loading screen, the GOG launcher. Let's see if the game actually populates. The cursor's getting the spinning circle. Oh, poopy. Yeah, that makes sense. Doesn't have the instruction set. Final Fantasy VII Remake. It works! Whoa! It's going. The CPU's only at 44 degrees Celsius. I'm excited by this. Oh man, texture resolution high. Oh, 4K 60-ish. It's trying, okay? It's got a little bit of texture loading issues, but it's working its way here. Honestly, this is not a bad experience. I think the game just needs to load in a few things, but the fact that it's working at all is inspiring to me. Oh, this is the boss fight, right? The very big boss fight that has a lot of particle effects. Oh wow, yeah, with all of these particle effects, this is rough. No, oh boy, I don't know how to play with mouse and keyboard, my bad. Oh yeah, these particle effects are definitely rough. We're in the like mid 40s. It's not awful. It's not great either. God of War didn't work last time. Can we go to war with the God of CPUs? Oh, got a population in the background. Is it gonna crash? Yeah, it's gonna crash. Oh, poopy. It makes sense. Please learn to support a Phenom 2 X4 955. Accept and report. They gotta know. Resident Evil Village worked on the Core 2 Quad. Now it's gonna work on the Phenom 2, guaranteed. It did not work on the MacBook Pro. Presets, prioritize performance. That's what we chose last time. 4K, that's great. We're only using like 8 gigabytes of RAM. Oh boy, all right. It's not spectacular. Okay, once it's populated, higher frame rate, 69. This seems to be about the same as it was on the Core 2 Quad.
It's about that.
Yeah, it's about that. It's a little higher, I think. No, 60 on the staircase. Look at that. Oh, baby. Baby hitching. This is enjoyable. I could enjoy this game. 1,000 likes. Kyler will make merch that says this is playable. This is a perfect place to put a baby. I think this is better. I'm enjoying this experience. Yeah, I love carrying babies around, particularly when they're mine. Almost exclusively when they're mine. The kids need to know, how does Fortnite perform? 4K, epic, unlimited frame rates. I do feel like this is the game where we're gonna see the RAM improvements the most. Yeah. Oh boy, all right. The RAM is working. The CPU is working. We're at 100% CPU and 0% GPU. Yeah, you can see the ground has not even loaded in fully just yet. We're about 30 right now. Not doing a terrible job. Lots of hiccuping. This is an improvement. The RAM is definitely helping. Yeah, because we're over 8 gigabytes used right now. And on the last system, we only had 8 gigabytes. Everybody asked for it. We have to answer the question, can it run Crysis? There it is. It can run it at 1,000 FPS in the menu. Oh, we fallen, boys. We've fallen at 80 FPS, 160 in the water, 60 FPS. Whoa, whoa. Okay, I'm zooming now. I think the first fight's right here. Hi, guy. Only the best in video game aesthetics. Yes, it can run Crisis. So it's clear it worked on the Phenom system, but we need to answer how much better is it than the Core 2 Quad? Get subscribed because we got the showdown of the Core 2 Quad on DDR3 with the 3090 Ti versus the Phenom X4 955, which was better back in the day, and the 6950 XT. Who's better now? There's only one way to find out, and it's by subscribing. Get subscribed for the fight.